Is it petty to not help my husband? 3 years ago my husband started a new job that is very demanding, takes a lot of time away from family, and doesn't pay great. He took this job without talking to me about it. It was extremely hard on our relationship, but he is passionate about the work, so I've learned to deal with it. We are now pregnant with our first child. Early on in the pregnancy he felt having the kid meant giving up on his career, and I told him no. We would make it work. We needed to communicate more and plan better, but we could make it work. We discussed he would front-load the year with work so he could be with me the 3 months following the birth. On top of all the business trips, my husband has also taken several for fun trips. I am 32 weeks pregnant and he has barely been home for any of my pregnancy. When people ask if I am upset about it, I have said, no, because he should do as much as he can now, because when the baby gets here is when I will need him the most. Well, he got back from a business trip and told me he was going to leave again in a few days. No discussion, no conversation, just told me. I told him I need help with some baby stuff, but he spent the whole time hanging out with his cousin and didn't help me. Then the night before he left he dropped on me that 2 weeks after my due date he is leaving for a month. I was stunned. I was hurt. We fought. I am still upset. I feel my boundaries weren't respected and my needs aren't being met. I feel taken for granted that I have supported him so much, but he can't support me this one time. I know he says he wants to make money to take care of our child, but I feel like he should have talked to me before he changed the plan, because that's the one time I will need him the most. So today he texted me asking my help with a work thing. Ordinarily I would help him, but I haven't responded. I don't feel inclined to help him with a work task when it's his job, not mine, and he doesn't help me get ready for our child and doesn't care to help me with the hardest thing my body has ever gone through. But am I being too petty? Girl. Why did you even allow yourself to get pregnant? Everything he has said and done makes it clear that he's not interested in marriage or being a father. You are not a priority and have not been for at least 3 years. I'm not sure why you thought this would magically change. He's literally living his own life separate from yours. Wow, this makes me so angry for you. 2 weeks after your due date is insane. You won't even be healed at that point. I certainly wasn't. And you are very likely to give birth after your due date, so this doesn't necessarily mean 2 weeks postpartum. Does he understand what giving birth entails and the fact that you need to recover and care for an infant? Please look into getting yourself help after you give birth. If you can afford it, postpartum doulas are awesome. To answer your question, I don't think it's petty at all. It's not your job. You need to focus on you and baby. You are not being petty. You agreed to a deal with him about front-loading his work commitments while you were pregnant, in return for having him there to support you after the birth. And now he is breaking that promise and continuing to put his personal and professional needs first, leaving you to deal with first-time motherhood on your own. I'm sorry to say this, but you need to face the idea that you may have to be, despite being a married woman, a single mother. If I were you, I'd start organizing an alternate support network for yourself and your child now. Based on his track record so far, I don't think you can totally rely on your man to do all the things he's promised to do as a husband and soon-to-be father. No offense, but he took a job that requires he's away from you constantly, pays very little, and he's passionate about. Are you sure he doesn't just have a second family he's supporting? Does not sound like he's ready to be a dad or husband. I'm curious, what is his job and why does he have to travel so much, and where is he going? Where and who does he go with on fun trips? No, in fact you're being very restrained. He's lucky he'll have a wife and kid when he gets back from his trip. He needs to respect your needs and learn he can't always come first. You need to set up some boundaries that he needs to adhere to. He has become too selfish and wants all to go his way. He should realize it will only get worse when the baby comes. He needs to do his part and not being so disrespectful to you and live up to his responsibilities. 29M, 32F, girlfriend had a strange incident with another woman in a bar bathroom. I'm a 29M and my girlfriend of a year 32F. We go out quite a lot, she has been faithful to me as far as I have known, has moved her entire life to be with me 4 hours away from where she was previously living. Everything seems good on all these fronts. However, last night, we were both pretty sloshed, and partying pretty hard. At one point she was talking to another large group who were pretty far gone too. And then she was waiting to go to the bathroom, which is just a single toilet, and I saw a woman follow her into the bathroom. I've seen this happen before, obviously women do this all the time, but I started to think things were weird when they were in there for 15 minutes. After she came out I asked her what happened and she straight up just told me that the other chick showed her breasts, kissed her, and she played with them. She didn't seem like she was hiding anything and pretty upfront about the scenario. So I'm not really sure how to feel about this. I know that she has told me she has had crushes on women in the past, also has messed around a little with women. So this is what bothers me. She blatantly said she didn't think I would care, because I have talked about threesome possibilities in THR past, and it's not a big deal. My friends also told me it isn't a big deal and I'm overreacting by basically saying she cheated on me. All in all, everything has been pretty great up until this incident. She's pretty wonderful to me, I love her a lot. We've known each other for over 2 years and have been steadily dating, committed since then. She showed a lot of remorse after she realized I didn't appreciate that, and really seemed genuinely upset. What would you do in this scenario? My buddy told me I should just express how I feel about this, and it's not to happen again. And that throwing away a relationship that seems solid all around otherwise would be foolish. Sorry. But in my opinion that is cheating 100%. And I am a bisexual woman in a happy committed relationship with a great man. I would never allow something like this to happen. You should have a talk with her about boundaries. A lot of bi people in relationships have boundaries where it's not cheating if it's with their same gender, and a lot of us do consider it cheating. You guys just need to talk about where you both stand on this issue, and sadly you may not be compatible. But never ever put up with sexual behavior from your partner that makes you uncomfortable. No matter what the circumstances and no matter what anyone else says. Talking about threesomes is not agreeing to threesomes. Where was the threesome in this scenario? There wasn't one. You were excluded. This was straight up cheating. I mean, would you stay with her if some dude followed her and flashed his dick and then they kissed and she played with it? I don't see why it being a woman makes it less of cheating. She cheated on you. If it were a guy who this was with, it would be cheating. Just because it is a girl doesn't make it any less disrespectful. And she thought you wouldn't care? I don't understand that at all. My man, that is 100% cheating. I'm really sorry. If she did it so casually, I honestly think she has done it before. I thought you wouldn't care because we have talked about threesomes. You weren't in there, involved in any way, or even co-soldered. Would it be cool if she sucked some dude's cock in the bar bathroom because you guys have toyed with the idea of threesomes? You were zero part of her decision making. Dude, if I were a lesbian I would be offended by your friend's stupidity. Women messing around with another woman is still cheating. Percent 100. If her cheating on you is not okay, which I assume not, dump her. Hi. I'm bi. Yes, this is cheating, but also your friend is right. A lot of people tend to see women being bi-curious as just a bit of fun, and not legit, because it doesn't mesh with the standard idea of heteronormative monogamy. I disagree with this, as I find my attraction to women just as legitimate and authentic as it is for men, maybe even more so. You two need to have a conversation clearly stating your standards, beliefs on what is or isn't monogamy. My 20F boyfriend, 20M, said I don't care about him because I decided to get Starbucks. There are a few instances like this, but I will keep this short and simple with one example from today. We were going to the grocery store and I was driving. There was a Starbucks on the way to the store and I mentioned I wanted to stop there for a drink. Just through the drive-through, not like hanging out there. I literally just wanted a drink and he quickly objected saying, "No, you don't need that, you're not stopping there." I kind of just dismissed this because in my mind, how would me stopping somewhere for 3 minutes on the way to the store harm him or logically upset him in any way? I pulled into the drive-through where no one was in line, and he quickly made a huge deal about me being there saying, "You don't need this stupid drink, we're going to get groceries," etc. The whole process of me getting something took literally 3 minutes. Like nothing. He then continued on saying I don't care about his feelings or wants and what he has to say, and that I just dismiss him without thought. I feel like this reaction is kind of extreme. I told him that is not the case whatsoever and that I do love and care about him, but I'm not going to let someone tell me what to do or dictate my actions just because they simply don't want me to. If there was a logical reason behind him not wanting me to stop at a Starbucks, I would completely understand. But when I asked him if there was, he just said, "I didn't want you to and you need to respect that." I feel like this is kind of controlling behavior and I honestly can't seem to justify how he let me getting something to drink turned into a whole ordeal without any explanation. If he wanted to stop somewhere that was on the way to our destination, even if I didn't want to I wouldn't care because it is so insubstantial to put up a fight simply for that reason, and if he wanted it, who cares? If there was a logical reason behind him not wanting me to stop at a Starbucks, I would completely understand. But when I asked him if there was, he just said, "I didn't want you to and you need to respect that." There is no way in hell I would just not get coffee because my partner said, "I don't want you to," and was unable to articulate any actual logical reason. Do you guys live together? Do you share finances? That's the only possible reason I can think of for him objecting, and even that is kind of a stretch. How long have you been dating this guy? He then continued on saying I don't care about his feelings or wants and what he has to say, and that I just dismiss him without thought. That's what he is doing, not you. He is not caring about your feelings. He is not caring about your wants. He is not caring about what you have to say. He is dismissing you without thought. Imagine living alone in a cute flat, getting coffee any time you please and buying a new throw cushion without having to play 20 questions. That could be you. Think about it. Don't stop at Starbucks because we literally cannot afford 3 minutes. Legit. Don't stop at Starbucks because my enemy is working there, and they might spike your coffee. Legit. Don't stop at Starbucks because we will run out of gas. Legit. Don't stop at Starbucks, just because I said so. Not legit. I really hope you got your drink. He's trying to control you. You have your own free will and you get to live your life. He should back off and stop ordering you around. This is exactly how my ex cut me off from all of my family, friends, hobbies, etc. This is extremely controlling behavior. Control freak. Run. Don't walk. Run. The control freak will get worse. And then physical. Run. The way he reacted was definitely not correct in the least. Something as simple as a single drink, unless you're scrounging for money, but even so, is hardly something to overreact over. It is most definitely controlling behavior, and if there are other instances like this, I'd say it's a pretty big red flag. The phrasing, "You don't need that, you're not stopping there," is controlling, as it's him not asking you, "Hey, let's get groceries first," or, "I don't think we can afford it." It's him ordering you not to stop there. Most definitely controlling behavior. These things are hard to bring up, but I'd definitely talk to some close friends or something and see what they think. Best of luck, op. BF's jokes are driving me crazy. I, 25 female, have been with M, 29 male, for almost 3 years. We've always been goofy with each other, there's not much we don't joke about. However, lately he's been on a kick of jokes that just aren't funny. He got really into Bill Burr and Joe Rogan and now thinks jokes about women are perfectly fine in any context and totally appropriate. He works in construction and is surrounded by a more man's man crowd, so I don't know if that's contributing. I play a lot of mindless games like Tetris to relax. Apparently, they're kindergarten games, and that's all women can handle. I was complaining about a friend being dramatic the other day and he joked about how women are always so emotional and need to resort to drama to fill their time because they don't do anything useful. I reminded him that hello, I'm a woman, and he can be with a man if he thinks so lowly of women. He of course said he was just joking. I asked him to explain what the joke was because jokes are supposed to be funny, and he just grumbled and went to do something else. He has said what he likes most about me is that I'm career-driven and I have 2 degrees, so I don't understand. He sounds like an incel sometimes. He's also started joking that I don't love him and there's no love here in the relationship, typically when I don't want to cuddle or watch TV with him. It's so childish, aggravating and frankly unattractive. You can't say something rude and then say, "Just joking," like that makes it okay. He'll typically bring up that I've made bad jokes before too. He doesn't seem to get how much it bothers me no matter how much we talk about it. Any advice on how to shut this down? We are what we pretend to be, so we must be careful about what we pretend to be. Kurt Vonnegut. He's pretending to be a sexist and covering that up as just telling jokes. You're telling them they're not funny. He keeps making them. And honestly, it sounds like shit outside of these jokes. You're right, quite unattractive. I wonder if he's resents your 2 degrees, or any successes you've had, and putting you down, trying to dismiss you, or belittle you to feel better about himself. And surrounding himself with entertainment and friends who make it seem like it's okay does not help. It sounds like you are good at taking a stand. Which means he's good at not listening. But maybe make it more clear that his jokes are at your expense, and really just hurtful things. And either the jokes go or you do. Asking him to explain the joke was an excellent move. Pretty much all of your reactions here are what people usually give as advice for dealing with guys circling the Rogan misogynist drain. Even if he won't admit it, he knows it's sexist, and doesn't care. At this point, if he doesn't cut it out, you need to give a firm ultimatum. He knows you're unhappy and it's behavior that he can easily choose to stop and yet he doesn't, so the time for second chances is over. Any more gender-based jokes, and you guys are done. You said you've talked about this repeatedly so it's not going to get better. Using just joking as an excuse for discrimination and belittling is a sign of a petty, hateful human. Your hopefully soon-to-be ex has found an easy out for showing his true feelings. Take that information and do with it what you will. I would personally bin any dude that admits to being into Joe Rogan. Better safe than sorry. A construction worker makes condescending jokes about women to his career-driven girlfriend who has 2 degrees. And there's no love there when she doesn't want to cuddle? Sounds like a confident, self-aware total catch to me. I am not fond of your boyfriend. He is blatantly sexist and intellectually women are extremely capable. If you guys break up, improve yourself so much that you make him feel hella inferior. I adore Bill Burr and think he's hilarious, but even Bill Burr respects his wife. If you don't like the jokes, he should be able to respect that and cool off on them. If he's not, then it's really best if people have the same sense of humor in relationships. Emo. It would only be fair if you could generalize men in jokes to him and he'd laugh, and from your comments that is not your thing, so it's not an even back and forth and he needs to stop.